So thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate that. Last week we kind of discussed a little bit more into some of the past issues you had during your childhood with your father, and you kind of talked about some of the issues that you might have had with a sister of yours or another relative, but we weren't quite able to process that anymore. How are you doing today?
Ever since our last meeting, I've been having some issues. I know I go back to my past thinking because, like I told you, I did something. I did something bad,
Yeah.
And then it kind of bothers me, and
Okay.
it brings up my my anxiety, and I feel like I lost that control of myself.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I want to help you with that. That's another reason why obviously you came in today. What I wanted to do was try to introduce something to you that I feel will really help you. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, what I'm going to do is today, specifically, I'm going to take a few notes on some
Okay.
things we talk about to help us get started with this. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So what I want to do is kind of get down to the root of the issues you have going on. You're very high thinking. You talk about how you want to be higher mentally functioning, but I can tell you're very high mentally functioning. But what I want to help you deal with are some of the what we call somatic responses in your body, things you can't quite control. Have you ever heard of that term before?
No, I've never. Can you explain a little bit more?
Sure. So the practice that I would like to use, we call it an intervention, is called the trauma resiliency model. And what that's meant to do is that we look at it in the sense that you have memories that are kind of stuck in your nervous system that triggers that fight or flight response, okay? So when you were younger growing up, with the issues you talked about with your father and his drinking and the yelling, or the other issues that have occurred that we haven't covered yet, this model believes that those are stuck in your nervous system and that they're constantly triggering you. And that can lead to the isolation that you're experiencing, the depression, and so on that we've discussed over the past few meetings with each other, okay? So the way we look at this is that there are three parts of your brain called the reptilian, which is what we're going to focus on. It basically starts there. It's called a bottom-up method. And we look at those somatic responses that your body can't control and try to help you get more control over that. From the reptilian part of the brain, which is in the back here, it goes up into what's called the mammalian, which has to do with the limbic system of your brain. And then from there it goes to what's called the neocortex, which is the part of the brain you talk about a lot, which is the thinking part, where we analyze when we look at certain ways we do things or why we do things, okay? The idea is that we start with the reptilian and work the whole way up, so that way I get you as the client full control over your body. So we don't run into these issues where you missed a session like you did the other day because it was raining outside and you felt that you were slightly depressed and you wanted to sleep all day.
Okay.
How does that sound for you?
That sounds very interesting.
So
But
that's-
but I don't know how is it going to help me. So but I'm interested in learning more
Okay.
about that.
So something like this, with this trauma resiliency model, there's a couple different tenets that we look for to kind of help you, and things that you'll be able to do for yourself. So when we're not in this room like we are once a week, and you're out doing whatever it is you want to do, like you told me you like to hang out with your mother, you go grocery shopping, you walk around, you're able to practice this and even refine it more so to the point where you become more fully functioning, like you told me you want to do, higher mentally functioning like we talked about. Yeah.
So with this, it is going to help me to get up in the morning to leave my house since I'm not able to do right now.
That's the hope. So the idea is that when you wake up and you have those somatic responses going on in your body, this model will actually help you be able to take more control of that and understand what's going on, okay? So one of the first things we talk about is the idea of grounding. And grounding within the trauma resiliency model is meant to keep you coherent to place and time. So this is kind of meant so if your mind starts floating off, you start thinking of different things that are going on around you, you can actually say, you know what, no, I'm in this moment, I'm in my house, I'm in my home, I'm safe, I'm in this environment here where we're safe. Do you have any times where maybe your mind has started to kind of gone back to your early childhood trauma that's happened with your father or anything?
Yeah, it does, usually at night.
Yeah.
When I go to bed, because I don't know if I told you before, my dad would sleep in the couch sometimes, and then he would yell.
Yeah.
I would wake up with him, on my face yelling at me, and that would really scare me. So sometimes when I'm sleeping at night, I wake up sometimes with panic attacks. I can hear him yelling at me.
Yeah.
And I just wake up screaming and screaming and screaming.
Okay.
And sometimes I have hard time going back to sleep.
Okay. So what we want to do, one of the parts of this is go over some ways that we can get your body to basically calm down and ensure that you are in the moment, in the situation, in your house, in your bed, safe, and not being yelled at and not being screamed at, okay? So we'll go over a little bit more of what that kind of looks like.
Okay.
One of the other tenets is what's called resourcing. So resourcing is awareness of positive experiences that trigger a sense of well-being. And what that's meant to do is to counterbalance and kind of counteract negative emotions. And what that does is that helps regulate your nervous system within your body. Your blood pressure, the panic attacks, like you said, with your breathing. You talked before about how you get very bad headaches sometimes and you just want to sleep all day. So in the idea of resourcing, when we're talking about positive experiences, what are some things you do right now that make you happy?
I drink soda.
Okay.
Every day when I wake up in the morning, after I drink soda, I feel like I can fully function.
Soda, okay.
I have that motivation to wake up.
Okay.
And also talking to my mother. My mother comes to see me. I see her once a week.
Okay. What about the walks you've done? I know you talked a little bit about that, but I noticed in the past sessions when you mentioned it, I think you even told me you felt very accomplished after you went to the grocery store. Could you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, but just to take a walk is a struggle. But once I do that, I feel like a sense of I've accomplished something. I really, I have that feeling that I'm proud of myself.
That's good.
I can walk to the grocery store sometimes. I just take a walk around the complex.
Okay. So that's good, and that's an idea of resourcing. That's an idea of something around you that you can do that gives you that sense of well-being and accomplishment. Okay.
And also, I have to add that sometimes I'm on my computer. I open this forum.
Okay.
Where I talk with the other people. We share our writing experiences.
Yeah.
And that when I get up in the morning to do that, that's a sense of accomplished to me.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that, how you like to write a lot, and I think that's great. That can be a way to express yourself and help calm your body. That's a good idea. Another tenet of this is called resource intensification, and that's paying attention to the resources and understanding causal sensations. So both of those go almost hand in hand, but what it's doing is we're saying, okay, when I do write, when I do go out and I take this walk, how does that actually make me feel? And understanding that. And the reason we do this is because what you're doing when you go on that walk and you get that sense of satisfaction, there are chemical processes that are happening actually in your brain that will help lower your blood pressure, steady your breath, and just make you overall feel happier, feel better. And that's what we're looking for you to understand and kind of grasp more of that, okay? You've mentioned before that you drink a lot of soda to kind of be more high mentally functioning. In regards to the soda drinking, is that something you think that you wanted to cut down on or increase, or what were your thoughts on that?
I do want to cut it down considering my weight. If you can tell, I've gained a lot of weight in the past year.
Okay.
I would say maybe 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm aware that sugar is not good for you. So I would like maybe to cut it down, maybe just one soda a day instead of 12.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the biggest challenge now for me.
Okay. So the last part of it is what's called shift and stay, which is meant to be a self-help method. And this is meant to shift away from distressing sensations and stay attuned to a level of comfort until regulation in your body occurs. So what that means is it's basically able to understand, like when you wake up at night, understanding the situation for what it is. You had that bad dream, you feel that you're being yelled at, and therefore you're going to use these methodologies to help calm yourself down. Understanding the grounding, the resourcing, and really understanding how that helps your body. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
And how does that work?
Well, with the shift and stay, what that's meant to do is, for instance, you talked about talking with your mother, going for walks, things like that. So it's understanding that you'll have a stressful situation, but that situation is only that part of that situation. You're able to go out, you're able to ground yourself, you're able to take those walks and help calm your entire body down. Because what you're looking to do with this is to really look at the somatic responses in your body that you can't control and try to give you some control over them. So with this program that we're talking about, with the trauma resiliency model, what do you feel you really could or want to get out of this?
Like I shared with you, I don't have any friends. The only person that I keep in touch with is with my mother. So I would love to increase my my social relationships.
Okay.
And then be able to go out and meet people. Because to me feels like to go out to meet people, it brings so much stress because I feel like I have to be fake when I meet people.
Okay.
So I want to get that control to be myself.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I want you to be your natural self. I don't want you to feel like you have to be fake to get along with people, because you do really well with me. We've gotten along, and I enjoy seeing you and having you come in. And that's why I've taken the time to research this and look this up specifically for you, because I feel it's something that could really help you and assist you with your goals.
And maybe in the future I would love to have a job, because right now, I'm unemployed because of my, my depression and anxiety.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, I think that this model for what we're looking to do could really help you and kind of gain more control over those somatic responses in your body to help you further reach your goals. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, and then I know I'm talking with you today, and I know we did you explained to me about these interventions, but I want to know, how long is it going to take for me to gain that control?
There's no exact time I could give you. It's not like a light switch where I could just flick it on and give you all that control. But just by you being here is a big step forward, and that's why I want you to come in this week like you did. I want to see you next week, and what we're going to do is work on this. This is a process.
Okay.
So it will take some time, but I can assure you that I'm here to work with you as long as you are here to work with me.
Okay, my other concern is I'm taking this medication that I don't really like. So is that gonna help me maybe in the future to help me get off my medication?
It can, yes. Using these methods to help self-regulate your body is kind of what the medication tries to do. So if we can teach you methods like this that are maybe more holistic in a sense, that might actually help you reduce the amount of medication you can take. I can't decide that for you, but I can say that I'll do my best to help you learn this model so we can get you to where you want to be and reach your goals.